time. $1.72 a gallon. I don't see a downside.
Feels great.
Since last summer, the price of crude oil has plummeted more than 50%.
That's beautiful. It's back to the 90s.
But outside of the U.S., it's a very different situation.
Everybody is crying and complaining.
Неприятно, волнительно, нет уверенности.
Well, it's really a spectrum of pain.
It's about $60 to fill it up. Right now, it's about $40. So I'm getting a $20 discount.
At one end, the less painful end of the spectrum, are the countries that import oil. China, India, and the United States all consume much more oil than they produce. With lower prices, U.S. drivers are saving roughly $630 million a day compared to last June.
For the average American, what that means over the course of the year is the same as getting a $1,000 tax cut. It's a benefit to consumers, and at the same time, our energy industry is going to feel some pain.
U.S. producers, many of whom carry high costs, have upped supply largely thanks to hydraulic fracturing or fracking. But now the irony is,
high-cost producers are going to start seeing the cost of oil infringing on their budgets and their ability to make money.
Still, it's far from crisis mode. Some even see an investment opportunity.
It's going to be one of the best opportunities we've had in many, many years.
Then there's the other end of the spectrum. Oil exporting countries like Venezuela, Nigeria, and Russia. These production-heavy economies were built on high prices. Now they are compromised and things are nearing a breaking point.
Oil money has been the lubricant that keeps that whole system together. And so what do you do in a situation where you don't have that money? I mean, Nigeria's had 7 coups since independence in the 1960s. Coups often happen in these countries when there isn't the money to make the payoff needed to keep the military happy.
Russia is also one of the hardest hit. Oil and gas make up more than half of the country's budget. Cheap oil, combined with Western sanctions over Russian actions in Ukraine, has the ruble in a free fall.
The Russians have tried, to throw everything they have to staunch the flow. They raised interest rates, by 6.5%, but it's not helping. And so for them, it's basically a perfect storm.
Many wonder if this double blow will mean that Vladimir Putin has to finally rethink his strategy in Ukraine.
The sensible place for Russia to go is to do the right thing and work through the Ukraine issues on a diplomatic basis and let oil markets go where they go.
Then there's Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia. These rich OPEC countries have made a choice not to scale back production, which helps ensure prices will stay low.
Saudi Arabia's reaction is, if I cut back, you're simply going to take my market share within these markets, and I have the ability to sustain this because I have $800 billion in reserve.
But how long can they last?
They massively ran up spending post-Arab Spring to double down on their bargain with their citizens. Don't go into the streets, don't make major demands for political freedom, social freedom, but we'll take care of you from cradle to grave. But if people start believing that that safety net is more fragile, then I do think you run the risks at least of more questioning of the leadership of those countries.
The concern for everyone across this so-called spectrum of pain is when or if prices will go back up.
What's so fascinating right now is there's no clear understanding of what's driving this policy. And so hence nobody knows what might be the exit ramp.
Oil prices are expected to stay low for the remainder of the year.
But beyond that, it's anybody's bet on where it can go.
I'm glad to be American.